Joining us now is the Professor of Law and Government at Durham Law School, Thom Brooks. Thom, good morning. So it's down to two, as we just mentioned there, Rishi and Liz. Who's your pick?
Oh, goodness, this is going to be a very difficult one. I think about a week or so ago, Rishi Sunak has been the choice of the Tory members of Parliament. It's only been Tory members of Parliament who've been having a vote so far in the process, and therefore Sunak. The membership of the wider party, the folks at home, have been more in favor of Liz Truss. But after a number of gaffes, there's been some really bruising debates between them. I think it is getting close to anyone's guess. My suspicion is that Liz Truss, the Foreign Secretary, might just eke this out.
Despite those gaffes, yeah, as you mentioned there are quite a few of them. So what are the fundamental differences between the two? One wants to cut taxes, one wants to raise them to pay down debt.
Yes, well, the differences are the really difficult thing to kind of work out with these two, because until a couple weeks ago, both were working together in the same government. For the last few years, they've been supporting Boris Johnson. And when Boris Johnson was found to have broken his own lockdown rules and in breach of the law according to the Metropolitan Police and fined, in fact, Rishi Sunak was fined for attending the exact same event as was Boris Johnson, where there's been 15 tax rises since the last general election. So there's talk about when they'll cut tax. One will claim to do it a bit more earlier than the other, but neither has been supporting tax cuts so far. There's been a lot of unfunded promises made about the new direction and the trust that they're going to restore and all the rest of it. But the fact is, for the last couple of years, they've been backing a prime minister who became so discredited and unpopular that Conservatives chose to ditch him despite winning a thumping majority in 2019. And the other interesting thing to mention very quickly about them both is that only the last day or two ago, the government tabled a motion of no confidence in itself. And both Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss voted that they had confidence in the government that they were seeking to kind of replace and have this new fresh start and all the rest of it. So in terms of what the new thing is that they offer, it's very unclear.
Is Keir Starmer strong enough to be able to seize on the division that exists now in the Tory party and will at least continue for the foreseeable future?
I think so. Some of the criticisms of Keir Starmer is that he was kind of very, very kind of competent, but and very together and scandal-free, but lacked some of the pizzazz and some of the charisma that Boris Johnson had. But now, going down a couple of years later, I think that there is a kind of a growing appetite for someone who tells it straight, who makes promises that they seem to keep, and kind of a refreshing kind of change from what we've had so far. At the moment, all the polls show Keir Starmer would beat whoever the new leader is, and certainly beats Boris Johnson, leading to this contest. If there was a general election, Labour would be in government. And so there's a really big task for whoever wins this contest to not just kind of rally a Conservative Party that seems to be very much in chaos and has been very divided with a very heated and seemingly increasingly heated contest. It's going to be an ugly summer, I think, for them. But at the same time, trying to pick themselves up and make the party electable again for a general election that will probably come sooner rather than later.
Okay, Thom Brooks, live to us from Durham there in the UK. Thank